Good morning. Are you successful? Today we're going to talk about making success personal. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boorman. If you are coming through, please do let me know somehow. It's Monday, so I want to hear from you. Don't be a lurker. Make sure you give this a good listen. There's lots of different levels in what we're going to be talking about here this morning. So success for me is such a huge crater. I mean, it has such depth to the conversation and topic. If I asked you, what is your definition of success, I'd have 60 different answers. And they are all manifested in your mind based on your own state of mind, based on the way you've been brought up, based on the way you see the world. But success in our own minds can create an awful lot of stress and frustration because we sometimes feel that we're not being successful. We often compare ourselves to other people who we feel are successful. And that can create a little bit of sadness in our lives. So I wanted to put some perspective on success because I wanted to make success more personal for us. I wanted to not have this standard mindset where we think we know what success is. So listen, here's a case study, here's a scenario. A man who earns over £100,000 a year. We would look from the outside, you would look from the outside and go, yeah, that guy's pretty successful. But is he? Behind having that six-figure salary, there's an awful lot of self-pressure. There's an awful lot of responsibility. There's an awful lot of stress. And because of all of that, it probably takes him away from his family, seeing his kids, being around his wife, his mental and emotional state. And when you start looking into the depth of, that success or what we visually see as success, we then start to see actually, well, you're not that fucking successful. Because you don't really live the life that you want. You don't really see your kids. You don't really see your wife. And that's where we're too quick to look at other people and think, well, fucking he's got a nice car. He's got a nice job. He's doing really well. There's a lot more to than what we see. Then there are other layers of success. I spent 2 hours with the guys on my 28-day program on their second Zoom workshop on Saturday, and it was just consistent success. From forming a morning routine to finding clarity in their life, to recognizing faults as being a parent, as being a partner, as to misplacing their time and their energy. All of these are successes. Simply beating a snooze button is a success. Now, that's why I think it's really important that we understand success is personal to us, not the comparison we make to other people or what society tells us is successful and not successful. If you looked at a man from the outside that worked in a supermarket, a lot of people would turn around and say, well, he's not really successful. But yet he's probably more successful than the guy that earns six figures. Because he probably gets to take his kids to school. He probably gets to pick them up. He has no stress and responsibility on him. Sure, he might not be financially as secure as the guy earning six figures a year. But he's getting a lot more out of life. Success comes in lots of different angles, and I think it's what we want out of life, and I think it's understanding what we want out of life that is half of the battle of being successful. Because when you don't really know what you want, you can't really determine if you're going to be successful or if you are feeling success. For me, I feel successful because I know what I want out of life. For me, I want to be time rich. So having missed out on a lot of my kids' younger life, being away with Afghan, training for other people for Afghan, I know that now I want to be able to see my kids when I want, how I want, school runs, nursery runs. And I've created a life over the last 4 years that has allowed me to be flexible with my time so that my kids come first. And I can only say that I'm successful in that respect because I knew that's what I wanted. So that success to me is personal. I don't base my success on houses or cars or watches or clothes. And that shows because I wear the same shitty clothes every day. I drive the same shitty car everywhere. So I think when you are, let me just check the timer here. I think that when you are looking at yourself and asking yourself, am I a success? I would just simply say, are you doing what you want to do? And I think it's really, really important to identify that. And in summary, it's not what we necessarily visually see that makes us someone successful. Not every footballer is successful because they earn 250 grand a week. Many of them are deeply unhappy. Many of them are deeply misguided. Many of them are deeply unhappy. And it's the same for a lot of people. We look at celebrities, think, oh, they're successful. Are they? Are they really? With all of the stress and the pressure that comes to it, just because they've got money doesn't make them successful. Just because people have got nice things, it doesn't make them successful. Remember, success comes for the personal things in life. Picking your kids up. Dropping them off. Getting to see your partner every single day. Getting to switch off at 4 o'clock. Being in control of your life. And knowing where you're heading in your life. And you can turn around and say you're more successful than some of the richest people in the world. Because some of the richest people in the world are some of the unhappiest people in the world. Right? So I want you to kind of go away today and kind of think to yourself, fucking hell, am I successful? What makes me successful? How can I make success personal to me? I think it's just a topic of conversation that a lot of people have a lot of thought processes on. And I guess what I'm really trying to turn around and say is, if beating a snooze alarm going off, if dropping off the kids, if finishing work on time, if those things are important to you, then you're fucking success. Okay? I want you to change your mindset in terms of thinking and judging yourself against others. Anyway, that's today's chat. Food for thought, I would say. If you haven't yet already, guys, and you're wanting to come and work with me, on the 1st of April, I'm launching my early bird places for the 28 days over 4 days. Means you'll get £100 off the programme. Means you'll be invited to a special Q&A Zoom call coaching session with me, which no one else will get, and you'll get an extra week on a programme. So it's worth being on the list. It's up on the post somewhere here. Have a great start to the week. Start with the right mindset, the right attitude, and build it through the week.